giving somebody the blues today.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Before we jump into the video, please be sure to hit that like button on this video and also subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 6,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. I see a lot of you guys watch every day. You're voting on these polls every day. Hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm working on a video right now where I'm taking a lot of the ideas and theories that you guys have been sending me. A lot of brilliant things, and I want to talk about that in one video. So go on Twitter, at me, send me your craziest ideas or theories or screenshots of whatever bits of lore you discovered. I want to see it. And who knows, when that video comes out, your comment, your tweet could be featured. So follow to the channel, follow me on Twitter, leave a like on this video. With that being said, let's jump in. As we were getting closer and closer to EVO, there was a lot of conversation about will Tekken announce Tekken 8 or won't they announce Tekken 8? And the very first poll that I did, do you believe Tekken 8 will be announced at EVO 2022? I voted no. I was super convinced that they weren't going to say anything. Looking back at, really, I love to look back at like the history of what happened and how we thought things were going to go, because Harada, even though people don't give him credit, I think he's very good at building hype. He does things to trick the community, to mislead us, and then at the end of it all, it's a big surprise. Like if you think about the teaser and how everyone was like, what, that's it? They're not gonna say anything? And then boom, they dropped the trailer at the PlayStation live stream and all of our minds is blown. The next poll that I did you enjoy watching Tekken Bloodline? I was inspired to do this poll for a few reasons. A lot of people were making fun of the triangle shadows, hating on the fact that Leroy Smith was included, and then also people were upset with Paul Phoenix and just a lot of different things, right? Everywhere I looked, I seen complainers. Yes, it had its flaws here, like we really didn't get to see that much of Ogre, or we didn't really get a look, like a deep look at these characters, but hopefully they could do that in the season 2. Longer episodes, more episodes. The next poll, how do you play fighting games? This one was inspired through a live stream. When I was live streaming, I was talking about how my analog stick was broken. I had an old controller, the analog stick was broken, and I wasn't able to do inputs correctly. And then people was like, wait, analog stick? You mean D-pad? And I'm like, no, my analog stick. And then that's when people were like, wait, you play Tekken on analog? And then that just created this whole discussion about who plays on analog versus D-pad. One thing that I will admit about the D-pad is movement is more precise. When you back on the D-pad, it registers a little bit better than a back on analog stick. That's one thing that I'll admit. But I still don't like how you have to take your finger off the buttons and press different buttons. And the analog stick, you could just keep your finger on the analog stick the whole time. The next poll. This is when we get into the super juicy topics. Do you want Heihachi to return in Tekken 8? Now, I know in past videos I said no, I said yes, I said Mecha Heihachi, and I said Mecha Heihachi is stupid. I said all these different things, and it really boils down to me just trying to process and understand and just figure out what's the best way possible for Tekken 8 to play out. That's what these videos are. It's one continuous discussion, and I go back and forth just weighing different possibilities and different aspects that would make the game better. That's the main reason I do these polls, is to try to understand what the community wants. And when you're talking about, do the community want Heihachi in Tekken 8, 67% says yes, 33% says no. And I remember some of the top comments being on this poll was like, how do you guys not want Heihachi in the game? This character is so iconic and it wouldn't be Tekken without Heihachi, and all of these things that I agree with. But at the same time, the reason why I vote no on this one is because in Tekken 7, Harada literally said that this is the end of the Mishima saga. And I know I've been saying it in many videos, but I really want to see a new saga. And I'm not saying Heihachi can be a part of that, but the start of that should be fresh, should be brand new. I often hear people say do a reboot or skip ahead to the next generation of characters, but we really don't need to skip ahead. We already have the next generation right here present. Claudio, Zafina is pretty much unexplored. You have so many different characters, Asuka, Zhao Yu, that can be this next generation if you let them. Tekken fans ride the nostalgia train like no other. Things that were done in Tekken 3, 4, 5, 1, and 2, people want those things to be repeated and repeated, and they never want the game to change. And I understand it, because change is like, especially when it's your character who's being changed, I think that can ruffle some feathers. But at the same time, Tekken 7 was all about trying to get new people to play the game. Same with Tekken Bloodline, it was about trying to get new people invested into the story. And Tekken 8, I think they're going to continue that tradition. And really, even though I voted no on Heihachi returning, I think both options could play out good. The thing is, they just have to execute properly. The next poll: what is the best region at Tekken? Now, this poll was made at the height of the Korea versus Pakistan rivalry. Honestly, I'm happy that it died down, because it was good at one point. The rivalry was really good, but the Tekken community really turned it into some toxic, bitter rivalry, and it got bad. So I'm happy that it dissolved and it calmed down. I know once those two meet, Knee and Arson Ash, it's going to kick right back up. But the reason why I chose Korea is because Pakistan just showed up and they made an incredible impact. But Korea, Knee, these players like dominated for like 20 years. The whole entire FGC, they have been on top. One thing that was being thrown around too that would really be the deciding factor is a Korea versus Pakistan event. This is a simple poll. What's your first impression of the Tekken 8 trailer? 92% positive, 7% mixed, 1% negative. 1% out of 6,700 says negative. That is extremely good. The next poll: whose side are you on? Team Jin versus Team Kazuya. I voted Team Kazuya because, one, I like Kazuya more than Jin. I think the character of Kazuya is so much more interesting. You talk about him being kind of mixed into Angel and them having some sort of connection, him and Jun Kazama. I kind of think of Kazuya as like the main character in a sense. I know Jin really is, well, really all of the Mishimas, they take turns being the star character, but I really see Kazuya as being the one who's going to carry Tekken 8. Like, if you think about Tekken 8, Jin is kind of the underdog. Kazuya is the person with all the power, making all the decisions. He's the one you have to overcome, right? So that's why I think Kazuya is in a better place right now. And you know, when you talk about Team Jin versus Team Kazuya, the reason why I put the team aspect in there is because these characters have a lot of allies, and also people who are not their allies. 3 more polls. It says, who's your favorite character and do you believe they'll be in Tekken 8? I know this is kind of a weird question, but 4,000 votes, a lot of people seem to understand what I was trying to convey. 78% says yeah, 50% says 17, 5% says no. And the reason why I tried to frame the question in this light of who's your favorite character and do you believe they'll be in Tekken 8 is because there is so many characters in Tekken 7 and really just the whole Tekken series as a whole. And when you talk about how many of them can show up in Tekken 8, it starts to get daunting. Tekken 7 has 36 characters. Tekken 6 has 39 characters. Base roster. So whether you say Tekken 8 will have 36 or 39, that's still going to be about 20 characters that is gone, and those 20 characters is just from Tekken 7. You still have another 30 or maybe even 40 characters from the Tekken series as a whole who never made it into Tekken 7, and you have to wonder, do that give them the rite of passage to Tekken 8, or are those characters gone forever? Christine, Bruce, Wang, Baek-Doosan, Jinpachi, Ogre, Jun Kazama, Unknown, JC, so many different characters. And it's like, how are they going to balance it all? I think when we see the base roster for Tekken 8, there's probably going to be a lot of heartbreak, but at the same time, I really don't want the community to get too caught up in it, because I think DLC for fighting games is really huge. So I think even if your character is not on the base roster, within a year or two, they will for sure show up. And I know that sounds like a lot. You have to wait a year or two for the game to come out, and then a year or two for your character to be put in. But if we think about what happened in Tekken 7, how powerful the DLC is, it's like I probably would want my character to be DLC, because I know they're going to be crazy good. Versus, it's a flip of a coin whether you get a character who's powerful on base roster or not, you know? And while we're talking about base roster and characters and stuff like that, the next poll says, which character do you want in Tekken 8? Which guest character do you want in Tekken 8? Now, this was at the height of the Tifa Lockhart community going crazy. I believe now on the Tekken subreddit, you'll get banned for even talking about Tifa Lockhart. There's a lot of people on Twitter who is saying, don't at me about Tifa Lockhart, don't send me tweets, don't do this. And I created a poll to judge how many people actually wanted that character versus some of the other guest characters. Tifa Lockhart came in second place, Kiri Kazama first place with 34%. Now, when I seen this poll, I was just like, man, these Tifa fans is just crazy. What's so crazy about this is you have Baki at 24%. This is basically the same amount as people who want Tifa. And it's like, sometimes there's one section of the community that is super loud, and you would think it's millions of them. But at the end of the day, it's not that many. The same amount of people that want Baki also wants Tifa. You just don't hear about it. What really surprised me about this poll was the DOA, Virtual Fighter, and Soul Calibers at 17%. And I was gonna vote for this. I was hesitating because I would like to see a Soul Calibur character show up in Tekken. I don't know what that would look like or the gameplay mechanics or whatnot, but I think there should be some cross collaboration between the two. But the reason why I went with Kiri Kazama, Goro Majima is because I think this would be incredible for Tekken. The final poll: Tekken 8 will not release on PS4 and Xbox One. Which platform do you currently have? Now, the reason why I asked this question is because also on the live stream, I was talking about how all of the tournament organizers play on PS4. When Tekken 8 releases, they are either going to have to play on PS5 or Xbox Series X or S. Most people can't even buy one PlayStation 5. So how do you expect a tournament organizer to get their hands on 20, 30? I know these big events like Combo Breaker or Evo would be able to do it. What about these super small events? There was one tournament that I was watching where the people who was running it didn't even have a Twitch account. They used one of the Twitch commentators' accounts to stream the event. How are those ones going to get their hands on 20 PS5s? An idea that I was suggesting, and every time I say it, people are like, no, worst idea. But honestly, I think it's realistic. Maybe the tournament organizers should get the Xbox Series S. It's the white one with the little black circle on the top of it. I know Xbox is like considered way worse than PlayStation, but the thing about Xbox is it's cheaper. It's like $200 cheaper. It's way smaller. You can transport a lot of them easier, and you could go anywhere and buy one. I don't know, it's gonna be tough, but that's gonna be it for this video. I will have a part 2 coming out. There's gonna be more polls to talk about. We're gonna have characters like Baekdu-san, Jun Kazama, Lucky Chloe, Master Raven, Regular Raven. We're gonna have a lot more polls to talk about in this video. I just want to talk about the first few and also how we got to this point. But stay tuned, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter. I've been interacting with a lot of people. You guys been sending me tweets. I also want to make a video about some of the tweets I've been receiving. A lot of interesting theories and ideas. So go ahead and send yours before that video comes out. But that's going to be it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.